Hey friends, it's me, Amy Rebecca, your internet bestie for all things personal development, intentional living and dream chasing. Lord, I feel like a Tom and Jerry cartoon today. You know, they're so tired they use the matchsticks to keep their eyes open. Except instead of matchsticks, I am using caffeine to prop me up. And even that's not going well. I've spilled not one but 2 cups of coffee over myself just this morning. So today I'm going to be doing another monthly financial reset with you guys. So taking a look back at what I spent in January, budgeting for the upcoming month, as well as showing you guys how my sinking funds are coming along. Because one of my biggest financial goals for 2025 is to have more money stuffed away in case of various emergencies or for various things. So let's go ahead and do all that. Okay, so let me pull up my budgeting spreadsheet. In case you're curious, this is a spreadsheet from Plenty. I have the yearly budget spreadsheet 3.0. In the past, I've used the 2.0 version. I like them both, and in this video, I'll actually show you a little bit of a comparison between the two because a couple of you have asked. But I am now a Plenty affiliate, so if you want to pick up one of these spreadsheets, I have a coupon code in the description box that you can use to save a little bit of money. So let's start by taking a look at what I spent in January. So the only money I had to work with in January was my salary from my part-time job. So with that, I put £100 into my Vanguard investments. I put £70 into sinking funds. I paid £200 for rent, or like what I paid to live here. I paid off £140 of the debt that I accrued by going to Vegas last year. And then my budget for the month was £680. This really threw me off last month, and I made such a big freaking song and dance about it. I confused myself to the point where I felt like my brain was about to explode out of my ears, and I don't know why I made it so complicated. Basically, my typical monthly budget for day-to-day expenses is £750, but I wanted that to include what I was putting into my sinking funds, and for some reason I couldn't just do 750 minus 70. That as an option was not appearing to my brain, but throughout the month I realized that's all I needed to do. So I just needed to make sure that my day-to-day expenses came in under £680, and then everything would be lined up perfectly and we would be good to go. I just have a habit of making things more complicated than they need to be. I don't know what that is, but I figured it out for this month. I did come in under budget. I finished off the month with £25.58 left over, but because in 2025 I want to make sure that every pound and every penny has a job and is doing the most that it can for me, I am immediately going to allocate this money to a sinking fund. And the sinking fund that is in most immediate need right now is my pageant sinking fund, because my pageant is next month and I should have been saving for this since a year ago and I have not been. So what was that? £25.58. £25.58 that we're gonna put into the pageant sinking fund because we have leftover money, and that should take my leftover down to 0. So now let's take a little look at what I actually did spend in January. And one of the things I've noticed about the Plenty yearly budget 3.0 compared to the 2.0 is that there's no difference column for expenses. If I remember correctly, and I'll pull up my old budget in a second so you can see, but if I remember correctly, in the old spreadsheet we had our budget, what we actually spend, and then the difference so that you could easily see if you went over or came under. I'll show you, and let's just pull up January. Okay, yeah, so you see we have the expenses, what you budget for, how much you actually spend, and then there's a whole different column for the difference. And I do kind of miss not having that in the new budget, but I'm not really too concerned about staying within my budget for each individual category. As long as I come in under my, total budget at the end of the month, that's really my whole goal. If I go a little bit over on some things and a little bit under on others, that's fine. As long as in the whole I'm coming in under budget, that's okay. If you want to be a bit more precise and you want to make sure that for each individual type of expense you are coming in under budget, then maybe the 2.0 version might be better better for you. Pros and cons, pros and cons. Anyway, let's break this down. So for groceries, and again, I have to say this every month, not all groceries that I consumed throughout the month, just the kind of top-up groceries that you call in on your way home from work and you pick up a few little extra bits and pieces. I budgeted 20 and I went a little over at £33.12. Eating out, I budgeted 20 and spent £52. Who is she? Who is she? I blame my mom 1000% because she just retired and I work from home, and every day she's like, let's go for a coffee, let's go for a lunch, let's pretend like we have unlimited money and time, which I do not. So I need to definitely scale back on that this month. Petrol, my budget was £0. Yeah, this comes back to a weird choice I made last month with how I was putting these numbers in. I really confused myself, like I said. Just, I don't know, let's skip past that. I did spend £50 on petrol. Car maintenance, £25, well, technically £24.99 for my car insurance. Gifts, again, I budgeted £0 because I was struggling with basic common sense last month. I ended up spending £40 on gifts. £30 of that went into cash stuffing. Health, I spent £50.44, which is more than my usual £35 that I cash stuff for my contact lenses. But I went to the ice bath, which I would class that as for my health. It's not for my personal enjoyment, trust me. Beauty treatments worked out at £52. A lot of that is still in my cash stuffing wallet. Clothing was £0. Makeup, I budgeted £20 and only spent £14.99. Skincare, budgeted £0, spent £0. Haircare, budgeted £0, spent £0. Toiletries, budgeted £0, spent £0. Books, budgeted £0, spent £0. Takeaways, budgeted £0, spent £0. Gosh, I feel so smug about all that. Look at her go. She is a budgeting queen. Okay, not so much maybe, because for hobbies, I budgeted £200, which included new running shoes. I, in my head, was thinking I would spend like £70 on new running shoes in January. I spent £183.24 and did not buy running shoes. It's been pageant stuff, mostly. I did also join a new craft club. But you know what? I'm not sorry for spending large portions of my monthly budget on hobbies. I'm happy that I'm spending it on hobbies as opposed to stuff or going out drinking, or I don't know, I could be a gambler, you know what I mean? I'm not a gambler. There are worse things to spend your money on than going out and drinking coffee and crocheting. Charity, I cash stuffed and paid my direct debit, which came out to £23.50. Transport, I budgeted £5 and spent £9.05 on parking. Trips, £0. Social, oh wow, look! I think I'm getting pretty good at guessing. I mean, it should be a little bit more sophisticated than guessing when you're budgeting. I'm just pulling numbers out of the air. But I am getting better. I am getting a little bit more accurate. Because look, I budgeted £80 for social and I spent £82.90. I did a lot in January. January was actually a very social month for me, which as an introvert and hermit, it's very unusual, but I had a great time. Drinks, I budgeted £0 because it did dry January, and like right on the last week of dry January I went out to a party and I bought a glass of wine. One small glass of white wine for £6.75. What are these prices? I mean, if you go to Morrison's you can get a bottle of wine for £7, and this was a small glass. So yeah, dry January did not make it to the 31st. I did have a glass of wine. Coffee, I budgeted £7 and spent £9.40, but that's because I bought my mum a coffee as well. Personal development, I budgeted £25 and actually didn't spend any. My phone, spent £0. Make that make sense, because I'm sure I spent money on my phone. Did I? We're just gonna scoot on past that, okay? I don't know why. I don't know why. Subscriptions, I spent £26.99. Oh, maybe I had my phone under subscriptions. Did I? Yes, I put phone under subscriptions. That's why last year I had it as its own separate expense, and this year I've just got it under subscriptions. And miscellaneous, I spent £1.60. What was that? I just need to know for my own personal satisfaction. What was that miscellaneous thing that I bought? Oh, an ATM fee? Boo! Imagine paying money to have access to your own money. That's gross. So yeah, I did come in under budget for January, which feels great. I put money into my investments, I paid money off my Vegas trip, I put money into my sinking funds, and I still came in under budget. So I feel really good about that. It was a great month. I didn't scrimp. I didn't, you know, stop myself going out and doing the things that I wanted to do. I was just really intentional with how I was spending my money and just keeping a really good eye on my money and on my balance throughout the month. And actually, this is something that I would like to touch on really quickly, because I've made a little bit of a shift and a little bit of a change in order to help me stick to my budget more consistently and save more money this year. Now, my income situation is wild. I've got several different income streams. That made it sound like I'm a drug dealer. I am not. But I make money from YouTube. I make money through freelance work. I have a part-time job. I make money through my different side hustles. And all of that money comes in at like various different times throughout the month. It's very messy. It's very difficult to keep on top of. It's chaos. Up until very recently, I would pay for all of my day-to-day expenses out of my current account. And that really left me open to error and open to going over budget accidentally, because I had random money coming in at various times throughout the month that would increase my balance. And so it was really hard to keep track of how much I was actually spending each month unless I was really on top of it with recording in my spending app every single time and logging back into that to check. So instead, what I've started doing is at the beginning of the month transferring my, what did I say, 680 into my Revolut account. So it's separate from my current account. And what I love about that is, number one, Revolut has savings pots. For all of my different sinking funds, I have different savings pots in Revolut, so I can keep that money separately and I don't accidentally spend my pageant money on something else, or my car maintenance money, it won't accidentally go on gifts. All that money is separated out, and that is very convenient. Also, just having the money separate from my current account, it means I can't go over budget. Any money that comes into my current account is separate and I can't accidentally spend that. And I have found that to be a game changer. I talked about Revolut before. I really like it. They don't sponsor me. I do have a refer a friend link if you want to check out more, read a little bit more about it. I read an article about it on moneysavingexpert.com, and that's when I first signed up for it. So recommend you go and research it for yourself. But if you're looking for a way to kind of separate out your money and keep things a little bit cleaner, that's what's been working for me. Anyway, let's jump into February. So in February, I have my regular salary from my part-time job, that £1,194, as well as £540 in side hustle income, which I will stop here and now and say I did not earn £540 in January. I earned significantly less than that, but £540 is the amount that hit my account minus taxes. Like I said, it is chaos. I have money coming from various different sources, and sometimes you will like earn money and you won't get it until 2 weeks later. Sometimes you don't get it until a month later. Sometimes you don't get it until 3 months later. And so it's always coming in random drips and drabs. And in January, I just happened to have a bunch land in my account at the same time. I'm still not drawing down any money from my business account for YouTube or freelance work, because tax season is looming, and I want to make sure that I've got like ample money still in there in case I owe more than I expect. And I've also got some like big business expenses coming up, so that's that. The first thing I need to do is put in my regular expenses. So that would be my £100 into my Vanguard investments, my £140 that I am paying off Vegas, my £200 in rent, as well as my sinking funds, which would be £50 for car maintenance, that one, and £20 for Christmas. Next, I need to put in all of my subscriptions and direct debits, although I can just copy and paste those from January, surely. Let's see, where are we? So we've got Spotify, Born Free, the gym, my health cash stuff, my car insurance, and then all my different cash stuffing. Okay, that's that done. So like I said, I finally figured out what the heck I did wrong last month, and what I need to do when I am budgeting for this month is just make sure that my total does not exceed £680, except it already does. Okay, I put this £570 in here to remind myself that I have upcoming pageant expenses. So this £540 of side hustle income immediately is going into pageantry. So that is like, it's in and it's immediately going straight back out. So actually, why is everything in my life always so complicated? I will have 680 as per my normal budget, plus my 540 from my side hustle income, which means I cannot go above £1,220 when budgeting for the month. Does that make sense? That makes sense. I always have to make everything really complicated for no reason. Groceries for the month, I'm gonna give myself £20. Yes, I am. Eating out, I need to cut down from like the £50 I spent in January. I'm gonna give myself 30. I think 30 is more than enough. Petrol, I'm gonna spend 50. Car maintenance, I've got my insurance. Gifts, I'll be cash stuffing 30. Health, I will be cash stuffing 35. Beauty treatments, oh, I need to change that because I have more than that. And if your question is, Amy, weren't you gonna stop cash stuffing for beauty treatments? Weren't you gonna have your BIAB taken off so that you could save money and not spend hundreds of pounds on nails? Yes, but then look what happened. I accidentally got them red. I went in to have them taken off and I accidentally got them red, and look how beautiful they are. It is a problem and I am working on it, okay? Clothing, I'm gonna spend 0. Makeup, I absolutely need more primer. I'll probably need concealer, so let's put 15. Skincare, I've been wanting to buy this one serum for like 9 months, and every time there's just not enough money left at the end of the month, and it's not enough of a priority for me to like not buy something else. Let's put in the £30 for the serum and see where we land. Hair care, I need a new shampoo bar. I actually do need a couple of toiletries this month. I'm gonna put 10. 0 on books, 0 on takeaways, 570 on hobbies, but that doesn't include my other hobbies. That's just the pageant stuff I have to pay for. When I tell you pageantry is expensive, I was not lying. So we have 570 plus I need to pay £20 for the gym. Does that come under hobbies? Yes. I'm gonna go back to craft club. That's gonna cost me about another £10. I'm signing up for a 5k. That's gonna cost £10. You're spending like £610 on hobbies. I guess so. I guess this is where we land with that. Is that all? Probably not. Look, I'm gonna put 650. I'm gonna put 650. Let's put £20 for charity. Transport, I'm gonna be paying to park some places, I guess. Let's put 7. Trips, 0. Social, last month I spent £80 on being social. Okay, let's put it at 70. Drinks, I'm gonna allow myself 2 glasses of wine, which in this day and age is what, £52. Oh, if one glass of wine is like £7, let's put £15 for drinks. That's insane. £15 for 2 drinks. And I get this if you're watching this from like London or LA or Canada. I hear that's very expensive. You're gonna be like, girl, £15 for 2 drinks? You should see how it is over here. And I get it, but like, I live in the arse end of nowhere, South Wales, where everything is supposed to be cheap. Supposed to be cheap here. We've been sold a lie. Coffee, I will probably spend £7. Personal development, I'm gonna give myself 25, because who knows. Phone is 0 because we added that to subscriptions. Subscriptions will be 27, and miscellaneous 10. I've already forgotten what we said this number needed to come to. We just did it. I love watching budgeting videos, okay? It's one of my favorite types of videos to watch. That and social commentary. I've never seen anyone budget with so much chaos and erratic energy as me. So 680 plus the 540. So we wanted to come under 1,320. And I've got 1,135. Does that seem right to you? Yeah, right? Okay, next I want to show you my favorite thing about this new version of the spreadsheet, and that is my savings and debt trackers. So a big goal for me in 2025 is to save more and also pay off my debt. So I love these little tabs where you can put the name of all of your different like sinking funds and savings accounts. You can put your goal, how much you're going to be putting in each month, and then it'll calculate how many months it's going to take you to reach that goal and the date when you will reach that goal, which I think is really motivating. So you can see that I don't have monthly amounts for all of my different sinking funds, because most of them, the goal is to just put in money as and when I have money left over. Whereas with my car maintenance fund, my Christmas fund and my investments, those are non-negotiables. I'm paying into those every single month. So you can see my goal for my investments this year is to reach 3,500. I started with 2,317 and I am putting in £100 a month. I will be done by November, as long as I stay on track with putting in £100 a month. And it's also linked to the monthly expenses. So anytime I put something into one of my sinking funds over here, it shows up in the savings tracker. So you can see that £25.58 I just put into my pageant sinking fund. So it's a really easy way to keep track of what you're saving. And then I also have it for paying off my Vegas trip too. So £1,470 is looming over me, and £140 a month is going to take me till October to get that all paid off. That's motivating to know. It's like it helps you see that the end is in sight. The last thing we're quickly going to do is take a look at my side hustle challenge, or what I've brought in through various streams of income throughout January. Like I said, it wasn't £540, but I did pretty well, better than I was expecting. Okay, UGC still stands at £0 made in January, £0 made throughout all time. Those people online selling the UGC courses, I think they're laughing at us. I haven't, no, I was about to say I haven't bought one of those. I did. I bought a UGC, how to start UGC. I bought one of those courses. I did. It's like being in a pyramid scheme, and I lost. Oh no. But the good news is affiliate links. I had my best ever month with affiliate links. I made £103.87 and I'm absolutely blown away. I've had quite a few of my videos just pop off recently, which has been great. Hi, if you're new, by the way, welcome to the chaos. But yeah, I can only attribute it to that. Sales of my book, I sold one book in January for £2.78, but you know what? It's £2.78 I didn't have, and it's one more person who's reading my book. Digital products, I made £97.67. Digital products continues to be the category that consistently does well for me. Like sometimes it's better than others, but it's a pretty reliable source of income for me, I would say. Oh god, now that I've said that, I'll probably make 0 in February. I've jinxed, I've put it out there to the universe now. I made nothing on Etsy. I made nothing on Vinted reselling. I made a mind-blowing £3.90 selling my old teaching resources. And that's it. That brings me to a grand total of £208.22, which is pretty darn good. I will never stop being amazed at my side hustle income, purely because there is no hustle. I say this all the time. I need to change the name of this to just like passive income challenge, because I put no effort into any of this. £208.22, pretty good start to the year, I would say. I know we're only 1 month into the year, okay? It has been literally a matter of weeks since 2025 started, and I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel very in control this year, and that's a really nice feeling to have. I'm making progress, and it's only been a month, but I already feel that way, and that's a really good feeling. Anyway, please remember that you are enough just as you are. I love you so much, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!